So I put away my devotional and I put away my Bible. Yes, I was quitting on God. Hey everyone, it's Monique Renewed. Welcome back for another video. So as you can see by the title of this video, it is about spiritual apathy. Exactly what is spiritual apathy and how to overcome it. So just to give you a background story about what led to this topic. So one day I was just through. I was done. I wasn't as enthusiastic about I'm just gonna be honest. I wasn't as enthusiastic about my relationship with God as I used to be. I wasn't really praying. I was doing things out of obligation, like going to church, and I fell off my morning routine, such as reading my devotional morning and night, studying my Bible, and it has a lot to do with feeling like I just been set back in life. And God has shown me all these visions and dreams of what I would be doing and my purpose in life, and my situation pretty much looks nothing like that. And not that it doesn't even look like that, but it feels like I have been even set back further than what I was before. Understanding the times that we're in now, it's pretty trying for everybody. So one day I quite honestly, I just had enough, and I put away my devotional, I put away my Bible on the shelf, and I said, I'm not doing this anymore, basically, and I was just quitting on God, but obviously he would not let me. Anyway, so I'm driving home and I catch a sunflower at the corner of my eye growing from a mailbox. I noticed it caught my attention. I'm like, that is so strange. That is so strange. I never seen a sunflower just growing by itself out of nowhere on the side of a road next to a mailbox. Usually when I think of sunflowers, I think of a beautiful, nice sunflower field and, with other sunflowers. And it caught my attention because it was just by itself. So I get home that evening and I'm scrolling on my Instagram, and I kid you not, I see about like 5 people posting about sunflowers, or there's a sunflower in the post, or something that has to do with sunflowers, like literally back to back to back to back. So I'm like, okay, so I know how God speaks. He speaks in patterns and repetition. So I figured this is him trying to tell me something, especially with the week I had. So I look up sunflowers and their characteristics and spiritual meaning. And here are 5 key characteristics of sunflowers. And if you want a more detailed post about this subject, be sure to check out my blog at bigsisterinChrist.com. That is where I will be getting my information from. So, some sunflower fun facts. Sunflowers stand tall and face the sun. Sunflowers grow fast at an average about 1 meter tall. Sunflowers are considered weeds because they can grow next to fences, roads, and in fields. Sunflowers are heliotropic, which means that they track the motion of the sun. So if you ever notice, sunflowers, literally they face the sun. Like when the movement of the sun, they track the sun. So it is very interesting to see that. This is most common in immature sunflowers because it aids in growth, promotion, and pollination. So it literally faces the sun for its own good. So what does this have to do with spiritual apathy? I muster enough energy to do a devotional one morning, and I just heard God whisper to me, and he said, Malachi. So I said, okay, I don't know if this is me or this is God or who, but I decided to go ahead and read Malachi. And I read the whole chapter, and it was definitely God, because when I read it, it was literally a mirror of what I was going through. So God sent Malachi to tell the Israelites about their behaviors, their attitudes, and basically their worship. So the Israelites basically were neglecting God. In other words, they began to grow cold towards him, cold-hearted, because of their situation that they were in. they were exiled and circumstances were rough. Basically, they were going through spiritual apathy, and the definition of spiritual apathy is a lack of interest that has anything to do with God, a lack of enthusiasm. You're just not feeling it anymore, and that's basically what I was going through. I just wasn't feeling it anymore. Because of the circumstances that I was in, I just was like, forget it. And for whatever reason, this really reminds me about depression. Normally when you're depressed, you have a lack of interest in activities that once was really enjoyable to you, that you didn't mind doing, that you liked doing, and it's like you're just not feeling anymore. You don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like praying. You don't feel like going to church. You don't feel like fellowshipping with other Christians. You don't feel like talking to God. You don't feel like anything that you once did before. You just don't want to do it anymore. And it may have something to do with the situation that you're currently in. You may be having doubts about the goodness of God or God's love, which is what basically the Israelites in the book of Malachi were going through. They questioned God's goodness. They questioned God's judgment. They questioned God's love for them because of the situation that they were in did not really reflect how they thought it should have. And that reflected in their behaviors. They were starting to offer imperfect sacrifices in the temples. And if you know about the sacrificial system that they had going on back in the day, you can only offer a perfect sacrifice because it represented the coming Messiah and how he made a perfect sacrifice on our behalf. They were becoming unfaithful in their marriage. They were withholding the tithes and the offering. It was just a lot of stuff going on in response to the situation that they were in and what they really thought of God. And God was basically giving them a heart checkup. So if this is you, I would like to say that you're not alone. A lot of us go through this. The people in the Bible went through this as well. And God knows our hearts. He knows what we're going through. He realizes our pain and our situation and what we thought should have been, but what didn't come to be. And if you believe in him, you know that he holds true to his promises no matter what it looks like. And he also declared that in the book of Malachi, towards the end, he did foreshadow Jesus. So if you're going through spiritual apathy yourself, here are 3 tips that I would like to give you to help you to try to overcome this. It is not something that's very easy, but tip number 1 is to realize that God will not forsake you, although you may try to forsake him. I literally did try to give up, but he sent someone on my way to give me encouragement, someone I didn't even know. And she would send me songs, send me encouraging messages. And I was really grateful for that because I'm like, wow, okay, so you do realize what I'm going through. You do understand my feelings, and he provided me encouragement through her. She's actually a YouTuber as well. Her name is Sareka. I will leave her information somewhere along this video. And yeah, go ahead and check her out. And this is also detailed in the book of Malachi. Towards the end, Malachi did foreshadow the coming of the Messiah, and how one verse in particular says in chapter 4 verse 2, where it says, "But to you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings." Basically, chapter 4 is a prophecy, a foreshadowing of Jesus. And I find that interesting that it's in the book of Malachi towards the end. And literally the next chapter is Matthew, is of the New Testament, is when we get to see the life and ministry of Jesus and learn about him. So I find that that correlation really profounding. That although the Israelites basically had kind of given up on him, kind of forsaken him due to their environment, due to the harshness of their environment and circumstances, literally the next chapter, we see that he held true to his promises and he still brought forth the Savior into the world, despite the fact that we feel we want to give up on him. Tip number 2, understand that there is a season for everything, and seasons are just that. Literally, they do not last forever. Fall doesn't last forever. Winter doesn't last forever. Spring, summer, the seasons don't last forever. They always change. So your situation or your circumstances, no matter how rough it is, it will eventually come to an end, and there will be new beginnings, and there will be a time for everything. I also made a blog post and video about this particular topic that goes more into depth. So if you want to check it out, I will leave it here. And yeah, Bad times do not last forever, and the same could be said for good times. Good times, you know, what your definition of good, there sometimes we need a season of learning and growing and maturing, and that can hurt sometimes. So but it's for our own good. That leads to tip number 3, is know that everything, God works everything out for our good, even the bad, it's for our good. So you have to keep going despite your feelings, and this is something that I'm really learning in this season, because I I feel everything. Like, I am I think of myself as quite an emotional person. Like, I feel a lot. So it's hard for me to sort of move past my feelings. I do let my feelings dictate my moves sometimes. Like, if I'm not in the mood, I'm not gonna want to do something. Like, literally before I recorded this video, I really didn't feel like it, and I had to push past my feelings and do it anyways, because I know this will be helpful for somebody out there. So the key is not giving up, and do not let your feelings dictate you to try to move past your feelings, even though it is a hurdle to do that, and it's very difficult, especially for anybody that really gets into their feelings, such as myself. And it is important, because you will not get anywhere in life. You will remain stagnant if you consistently let your feelings dictate you, and if you let your feelings dictate your next move, you will remain stagnant. Because how could you really expect to proceed in life if it's literally based off of how you feel? If you can understand what I mean. And the verse that I'm going to leave off with in this video is going to be Lamentations 3:22-24, and it says, "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for him." So, despite what it looks like in your surroundings, like a sunflower that can grow on the side of a road, lonesome, but yet it stands tall and it faces the sun, I encourage you to wait on God and to face Jesus as if he is the sun that gives you nourishment and provides you with the growth that you need. Okay, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. Consider subscribing if you would like. I make Christian lifestyle videos, and yeah, share with a friend that you feel like may need to hear this word, and give it a thumbs up if you like, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.